Learn English to Gujarati statistics terms, interference 2.
આધાર રેખા.
Welcome to the lab of useful chaos. You are about to learn serious technical Gujarati words in a not-so-serious way. Grab your curiosity and, if possible, a dramatic scientist voice. Welcome, brave learner. Today you enter a magical research lab where charts wobble, screens blink, and one intern keeps labeling his lunch as experimental data. In this lab, you will learn 8 important English to Gujarati terms. First comes interference, which in Gujarati is
અવરોધ.
Then we meet error term, or
ભૂલપદ.
after that comes confidence interval, known as
આત્મવિશ્વાસ અંતરાલ.
You will also hear sensitivity analysis, or
સંવેદનશીલતા વિશ્લેષણ.
robustness test, or
મજબૂતાઈ પરીક્ષણ.
validation strategy, or
માન્યકરણ વ્યૂહરચના.
ground truth, or
આધારભૂત સત્ય.
and baseline, or
આધાર રેખા.
Yes, these are big words. No, they cannot pay rent. But they can make you sound smart. The signal gremlin. Let's begin with a word that ruins clear communication like a pigeon landing on a satellite dish. You will hear it and remember it. The first word is interference. In Gujarati, say,
અવરોધ.
Imagine a clean radio signal traveling beautifully through the air until static jumps in wearing muddy boots. That rude interruption is
અવરોધ.
example. The machine stopped because of interference. In Gujarati, Messina.
અવરોધ.
Na karan banda Thai guy. Example. Radio interference made the sound unclear. In Gujarati, radiomum.
અવરોધ.
Hovathi avaha spasta nahoto. Mini dialogue. A. Why is the signal weak? B. There is
અવરોધ.
in the line. Funny memory trick. Even your toaster is giving an inspiring speech about breakfast innovation, but then
અવરોધ.
interrupts it. Tragic. Toast deserves clarity too. The tiny math goblin. Now meet a smaller problem. It does not shout like interference. It hides in equations and smirks. The next term is error term. In Gujarati, it is
ભૂલપદ.
Think of it as the little mathematical gremlin in the corner of the equation. Example. The equation includes an error term. In Gujarati, samakaranamam.
ભૂલપદ.
Samela che. Example. We must reduce the error term. In Gujarati, a pain.
ભૂલપદ.
Gatadevam jwa. Example. The model has a small error term. In Gujarati, a modelamam nanam.
ભૂલપદ.
Che. Picture a professor pointing at a formula and whispering dramatically, aha. The villain is
ભૂલપદ.
single quote. Not the student. The term. A safe range, not a wild guess. Now you get a term that sounds fancy because it is fancy. But it is also friendly once you see the idea. Confidence interval in Gujarati is
આત્મવિશ્વાસ અંતરાલ.
This is not one exact number. It is a range where the true value is likely to be. Imagine a nervous student giving one exact answer. Then the statistician arrives, wearing calm shoes and carrying a ruler, and says, relax. Use a range. That range is
આત્મવિશ્વાસ અંતરાલ.
example. The report shows a 95% confidence interval. In Gujarati, ahivalamam 95 takanam.
આત્મવિશ્વાસ અંતરાલ.
Badavavamam aviam che. Example. A wider confidence interval means more uncertainty. In Gujarati, vadu paholam.
આત્મવિશ્વાસ અંતરાલ.
Vadu anischitata darsav che. So if one number feels lonely, give it company. That company is
આત્મવિશ્વાસ અંતરાલ.
turn one knob and see what happens. This section is for your inner detective, or your inner person who enjoys pushing one button and pretending it is science. Sensitivity analysis in Gujarati is
સંવેદનશીલતા વિશ્લેષણ.
It means checking how the result changes when one variable changes. You test one factor, then another, and see which one causes the biggest effect. Example. The engineer performed a sensitivity analysis before changing the design. In Gujarati, Engineer de Jaina Badalata Pahelam.
સંવેદનશીલતા વિશ્લેષણ.
Carium. Example. Sensitivity analysis helps us see which variable matters most. In Gujarati,
संवेदनशीलता विश्लेषण.
Amane ko paribala southi vadu mahatvano che te samajavamam madata care che. Humorous image. A spreadsheet wears sunglasses and says, I am too sensitive. So you answer, perfect. Time for.
संवेदनशीलता विश्लेषण.
Single quote. Can it survive the chaos? Now let's test strength. If the product survives this section, it deserves a tiny trophy and maybe a nap. Robustness test is.
मजबूताई परीक्षण.
In Gujarati, this means testing whether something stays strong under pressure, stress, shaking, heat, or other difficult conditions. Imagine engineers dropping, heating, and rattling a device while pretending this is completely normal behavior. That is.
मजबूताई परीक्षण.
Example. The engineers performed a robustness test before launch. In Gujarati, Ijanero Lanka Pahelam.
मजबूताई परीक्षण.
Karyam. Example. A good product passes every robustness test. In Gujarati, Saro Utpadana Durika.
मजबूताई परीक्षण.
Pasa care che. If your phone survives a fall, a spill, and your uncle sitting on it, congratulations. It has passed the family version of.
मजबूताई परीक्षण.
The plan before the plan. Before testing, clever people make a strategy. Less clever people say, let's just wing it, and then cry near a whiteboard. Validation strategy in Gujarati is.
मान्यकरण व्यूहरचना.
This is the plan for checking whether your system, model, or process is correct and reliable. Example. Our validation strategy helps us catch errors early. In Gujarati, Amari.
मान्यकरण व्यूहरचना.
Amane bulo vaheli pakadavamam madata care che. Example. The team reviewed the validation strategy before launch. In Gujarati, time lanka pahelam.
मान्यकरण व्यूहरचना.
Ni samiksa carry. Think of.
मान्यकरण व्यूहरचना.
As a checklist with attitude. It says, no guessing. Prove it. What is actually true? This word is extremely useful when predictions are flying around like confetti. Somebody has to hold the actual answer. Ground truth in Gujarati is.
आधारभूत सत्य.
This is the real, verified answer used for comparison. In machine learning and data work, predictions may look confident, but confidence is not always correctness. A robot can say, I am 97% sure that this cat is a toaster. That is cute, but we still need.
आधारभूत सत्य.
Example. In machine learning, ground truth is the correct label. In Gujarati, Masina Larningamam.
आधारभूत सत्य.
Sakam labala che. Example. We compare the model output with the ground truth. In Gujarati, aim modelana ataputani tulana.
आधारभूत सत्य.
Saith carry chi. Without.
आधारभूत सत्य.
Evaluation becomes guessing dressed up in office clothes. Where everything starts. The last word is calm, simple, and secretly powerful. It is the starting line for progress. Baseline in Gujarati is.
आधार रेखा.
A baseline is the starting reference point before you measure change or improvement. Example. We need a baseline before we measure progress. In Gujarati, Pragati Mapava Pahelam Amane.
आधार रेखा.
Joie. Example. This first test gives us a baseline. In Gujarati, Apaheli Kasoti Amane Eka.
आधार रेखा.
Ape che. Imagine a race where everyone runs wildly, but nobody marked the start line. Chaos. Mild confusion. One lost shoe. The proper start line is.
आधार रेखा.
Quick review challenge. Now you try. No stress. If you forget a word, just blame imaginary lab noise for 2 seconds. What is the Gujarati word for interference?
अवरोध.
What is the Gujarati phrase for error term?
भूल पद.
What is the Gujarati term for confidence interval?
आत्मविश्वास अंतराल.
How do you say sensitivity analysis in Gujarati?
संवेदनशीलता विश्लेषण.
How do you say robustness test?
मजबूताई परीक्षण.
How do you say validation strategy?
मान्यकरण व्यूहरचना.
How do you say ground truth?
आधारभूत सत्य.
And finally, how do you say baseline?
आधार रेखा.
Goodbye, brilliant researcher. You did great. Yes, even if you pronounced one word like a confused microwave, you still did great. Today you learned 8 advanced English to Gujarati terms.
अवरोध, भूलपद, आत्मविश्वास अंतराल, संवेदनशीलता विश्लेषण, मजबूताई परीक्षण, मान्यकरण व्यूहरचना, आधारभूत सत्य,
And
आधार रेखा.
thank you for learning with me. Keep practicing, say the words aloud, revisit the examples, and let the vocabulary become part of your everyday language toolkit. You are doing real progress, one smart word at a time.